It's a computer. Okay, we're recording. So, hey everybody, welcome to our first Coach Mastermind group. And it's really great to reconnect with so many of you. I know it's been a long time since I've communicated with a lot of you. Others I've spoken with recently, and others were recently on the last call that we did. Again, my name's Don Murphy, and Bob Lucido, who is our upline, call it mentor, guru, very successful coach, is here also on the call with us, and he will be part of this mastermind group for the indefinite future. Every other week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. is when we'll come together. And those of you who have been part of Team Euphoria for a while kind of know I was very active as a coach for a long time, call it 3-4 years. And then it was during the past 2 years that I really fell off in my business. I fell off in a way that I just really stopped working the business because I've had many other life events come along that have been fantastic. Like my career has just taken me into a wonderful place, and I am a gym owner. If you didn't already know that, I'm a Gold's Gym franchisee, and we own a huge Gold's Gym here in Newburgh, New York, and I'm in the process of building another one in the next town over. So that is my primary career, is that of a gym owner. But the thing about this business, and I was talking to Bob earlier today about, our overall strategy for how we're going to proceed with the mastermind group. And I said to him, the amazing thing about this business is that when it's done right and you build yourself a team and eventually maybe someday an organization, and that's not to say that's something you may want to do. And we'll talk about all this, but I did. I built a team and I built an organization, and I put a lot of energy and time into doing that for 3 or 4 years. And when my life took me in another direction, I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen with this business that I had grown to become a 6-figure annual income? Between my wife and I as Beachbody coaches, we earn a 6-figure annual income. And when I realized I wasn't going to be able to put the time into it anymore, it was kind of alarming because our lifestyle had grown to a place of we were banking on that income. And then I realized the beauty of the business. My income didn't really change because of the nature of network marketing. When you build yourself an organization, the past 2 years, yes, my income has declined a bit, as just about every coach in the network has experienced. But all in all, my wife and I still have a 6-figure annual income as Beachbody coaches. And that's what amazed me about this. So why am I coming back in? Well, I'm coming back in because I felt 2 things. One, if I did absolutely nothing for the rest of my coach career, eventually probably it would start to just completely disappear. And I felt that would be a shame after so many years of putting the energy in that we had done. And then 2, with the work that I've done as a coach and a gym owner, the most rewarding thing for me in this profession of being call it a health and fitness professional has been the ability to directly or indirectly change a lot of lives. In the gym, we bring our members in and we get them involved in programs that change their life. But as a Beachbody coach, it's the same thing. I'm just not doing it in the gym. So I really have a passion for doing this. I have a passion for helping people build a business for helping others because I'm really good at it. And it's because I grew up in it. I grew up in it because my mother started her career in the gym industry when I was in high school, and it's just become part of my DNA. And the thing that's made it so successful for me is kind of an innate ability to speak with people about health and fitness in a very natural way that's never feeling like I'm a salesperson. I never feel like I'm soliciting. And it just comes very naturally to me. And that has been one of the best things that I've been able to teach other Beachbody coaches. And so all of you being here on this first mastermind call, first of all, thank you for being here, because it says to us that you have an interest in this and you have an interest in growing an income as a coach to whatever level you want. And that is different for every one of us. One of the things we have to do is take a look at, well, how much success do I want to get out of this? How much time do I want to put into it? But based on whatever you may want to personally achieve, this is what you can expect to get out of this mastermind group. You can expect that Bob and I are going to deliver the tools. We're going to share the tools and the teachings that have enabled us to build the success that we have. And talk about success, Bob is one of the most successful male Beachbody coaches. Forget male. One of the most successful Beachbody coaches to ever come into the network. Like the amount of volume that Bob Lucido has in his organization is more than his team cycle bonus can cash out. And he's making a lot of money as a Beachbody coach, but it's because Bob has dialed in a systematic approach to doing three things. One, he gets customers ongoing. He's constantly got new customers coming into his world. Two, he's retaining those customers, which is where a lot of coaches fall down. A lot of coaches will get customers, but they don't retain them. Their customers fall off. They drop off. They stop drinking Shakeology. They stop working out, and there's reasons for that. He has great retention. Three, Bob has done a hell of a job teaching coaches with the desire and the passion to build a business. He knows how to teach this. And what Bob teaches you may be different than some of the things that I teach you. And so what you have to understand by Bob and I coming together with this mastermind group is that it's not meant to be a one size fits all. And that's why we didn't want to do something like Coach Basics or Emerald to Diamond. And, there's so many education tracks that Beachbody coaches and Beachbody corporate has delivered through the years. And they're all good in their own way. But unfortunately, what happens is we go through a lot of these education tracks, and it's like, well, I don't really want to do that. Like, it's just not, it doesn't fit who I am and my lifestyle. I really would rather do what that person's doing. So what we want to do is share with you numerous ways that you can build this business and give you the fundamentals to do so. But then it's up to you to decide, well, which approach and strategy is going to be best for us and best for me based on my life situation and the other things that I have going on in my life, based on your personal background, based on what you do for a primary career, and based on the amount of time you even want to put into this. But the first thing you really got to answer is, how much money do I want to make in this? And depending on what you answer in that will determine one of two things. One, you will either just get some customers and call it a day. Or two, you're going to get customers, but you're also going to focus on, I got to recruit some coaches to become part of my team. And then I have to teach them to do this business. And for a lot of you, you may not be there yet. You've never maybe formally taught somebody how to do this business. And that's not something you want to jump into if you've never done it. But those are the two ways you're going to build income. Retail, just get customers, or you start building yourself a team and you have passive residual income coming from the businesses that they're building. And so we're going to have a lot of basic business building strategies that will be covered. And then we will dive into the behaviors that, regardless of what size business you want to build, you have to do these, call it vital behaviors. Like, there are certain fundamental things that you just have to do if you're going to succeed at any level as a Beachbody coach. All right. So that's kind of the grand intro. You guys are going to be given tools for success. We want this mastermind group to be interactive. So the way we saw these calls going every other week would be that we would come in with a piece of education, and that would last maybe about half the meeting, call it 20 to 30 minutes. And then the rest of it could be open dialogue and Q&A going for like another 15 to 20 minutes. So we figured that these calls, if we could keep them to like 45 minutes, it would probably be short enough that people would say, yeah, I can do that. Once they start getting to an hour and beyond, it's like, But I know that sometimes topics get very engaging, and there's a lot of good quality Q&A that comes about. And absolutely, let's keep that going if we feel that the energy is there. But we don't want to drag this out every other week. You know, the work has to be done by you guys. We can just share with you what you have to do to build the kind of success that we've been able to experience in this. So I just have a few notes here. I just want to make sure I hit upon them, and then I'm going to turn it over to Bob to also open up with some of his thoughts. Here's something to keep in mind too, as you learn about everything you learn. And I know some of you have been in this for a while, and you've seen, you know, the pie in the sky accolades that Beachbody Corporate will hang out there with elite coach and top coach and 15-star diamond and all these things that almost brainwash you into, oh, well, I got to get that. I got to get that. The reality is you can blank that stuff out. You don't have to pay attention to that stuff. We're going to teach you the business of Beachbody coaching, more so than Beachbody Corporate does. That's what this group is all about. Learning the nuts and bolts of building a business, not about some pie in the sky accolades that for many coaches, keep this in mind, many coaches who have gone on to 15-star diamond and elite coach status and this and that, within a couple of years, their business crumbles like a house of cards. It's fragile what they're building. That's not everybody, but it is for a lot of them. Whereas what Bob and I have created is long-term sustainable income. That when life gets in the way and derails you at times, that income doesn't stop. That's the nuts and bolts of what we're going to teach in this group. I would also say that if ever in the course of being a Beachbody coach, you feel like you're being a salesperson, you want to stop doing what you're doing. Because when you're doing it right, you should never feel like a salesperson. This is not about selling people. This is truly helping people. And I would not have jumped in as hardcore as I did a few years ago to this business if I didn't truly believe in the products of Beachbody. But when it comes to the fitness programs and Shakeology and the nutrition solutions that they offer, as a fitness professional and a guy that's been in the industry for a long time, they're among the best in the world. You follow these plans, you get healthy and fit. So knowing that, because I've used them and I drank Shakeology and I really got to know the products intimately, I said, this is like, I have to share this. And I did. But it was because I never felt like I was selling anything. I knew that I was helping people. And so you just have to learn the language to use and the questions to ask so that people feel the same thing. They don't feel like you're trying to sell them something. They truly feel like you're trying to help them by getting to know them. So that's all going to come in the future, learning those skills. But you should never feel like a salesperson. The only other thing that I would add before I jump it over to Bob for a bit of dialogue is get more active on the team page, Team Euphoria. And I'm the guy that dropped the ball on my team page. Like, I horribly just fell off. And the team page basically went dead. It was like, well, what happened to Don? He's not even posting anymore. And yeah, I'm guilty of that. So here I am saying, okay, well, let's try to bring some energy back. And by doing so, I think we'll see other coaches start to meander in again if they see us sharing some energy, sharing some success, you know, giving a kudos to each other if we know of good things happening in our businesses. But let's bring the page back to a forum where there's energy and there's also questions. Like, as a coach, don't be afraid to go, I don't know the answer to this thing that I got to figure out. Use the Team Euphoria page to post your question and you'll get the answer. And I will tell you, one of the most helpful coaches in the entire Team Beachbody network is right here on the call, Shannon Price. Like, Shannon, and you know, we all know Shannon, she's just aces for being that helpful person, probably faster than anybody. I'm almost like, how does she get to the computer so fast when somebody posts something? Like, it's just crazy. So we have a very helpful group who can respond to answer questions. So with that, again, thank you for being here. And again, it'll be recorded. If you have coaches in your downline that wanted to be here and they couldn't, share the recording. Give them an understanding of what this mastermind group is going to be all about, and we'll go from there. So with that, Bob, I'm going to turn it over to you, and you can add some dialogue, and we'll go from there.
Wow, fantastic stuff. First of all, I'm thrilled to be here. What a great intro from Don. Everybody should go back and listen to that recording again, because there's just nugget after nugget in what he was sharing in that intro. And, as you all know, you're very lucky to have Don as your upline, and the really special way of sharing this opportunity that he has. It's exactly what we want to be talking about in this group. Your personal vision, your personal goal, and a realistic pathway, a realistic, viable pathway to get you there. And I think that is really what's missing in most of the trainings that get offered out there, is that realistic, viable path to get you there. People don't like to jump into the mire of the comp plan, but that's what we're going to do in this group. Yeah. My goal is going to be to make sure that everybody comes out of this group with a good, strong, working understanding of how the comp plan works, how to maximize your potential benefit from the comp plan with a personalized business plan that lines up with your personal vision for this business. And that's why I started sharing that chart on the team cycle bonuses. And I'm sure for most of you, if it's the first time you've seen it, it looks crazy, looks like rocket science. It's not. We're going to break it down. We're going to go over that thing over the next several weeks together, so that you'll be able to pick that thing up and use it as a very easy and simple guide to help you make sure that your business is generating the kind of volume that you need on the legs where you need it, and that you're holding the rank that you need to meet the dollar amount that is your income goal. It's really very simple when you break it all down, and you have a nice, easy chart that you can look at it, because you can just look in your back office each week and say, well, here's the volume on my left leg, here's the volume on my right leg. I'm lining this up with the chart. I'm a Ruby coach. I'm trying to get to my $1,000 a week cap in my team cycle bonus. What are the numbers I need? And then we're going to break down how you get those numbers. And some of what Don was talking about, these are some of the things that I've been huge on from the beginning. And so has Don, very naturally, because if you're really in this to help people get results, then you're going to very openly and hopefully quickly and enthusiastically embrace sharing the whole catalog, so that your customer base is not just a bunch of people who drink Shakeology once a day because you told them to. They're also using Energize, and they're using the bars, and they're using Hydrate, and they're using Recovery, and they're understanding the value of everything that you have to offer. And you're creating what Don was talking about before, that quality customer, the retention of customers who stick and continue to develop and build volume. Instead of trying to get lots of people who are a one-hit wonder, they do Shakeology for a couple of months and they disappear, how to develop quality customers who stick around. I've had customers who have been with me for years, who spend $200-300 a month, generating $200-300 PV a month in the products, because they're believers, because they're active participants, because they want the results that these products give. And that's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, some of the stuff that we're going to share, but always with the purpose of developing action items that are actually pushing the results that you're trying to get. And in this case, we're talking about different ways to grow volume, and we'll share a lot more ways, but just a kind of simple example of where some of this discussion will go. And that's the kind of nuts and bolts of pushing volume, holding rank, making sure it matches up to generating the kind of income that you want. So you really have a step-by-step breakdown of the numbers, and you can predict what your paycheck is going to be every week. You can predict how you're going to step towards your goal because you have real numbers and real action numbers that you're building towards on a week-by-week basis. That's number one. Number two, though, and maybe the bigger part that we're going to work on, and this is why the discussion part is so important, and please come and discuss. This works best if you come ready, willing, and able to talk about your business so we can help you build it. That's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
But if we're always building generic and we're just lecturing and we're building in a vacuum, it's not going to get you where you want to get to. And that's why this is called a mastermind group. And this is, as Don said, we're assuming you know how to do challenge groups and you know how to do fit clubs and shake and shares. And what we're going to talk about in here is which of those tools are you going to optimize?
Right.
And it starts with your personal vision of how you see this in its highest level for you. And that means don't tell me the cookie cutter, okay, I'm a Beachbody coach, so I'm going to do challenge groups and I'm going to, X, Y, Z, because that's what I've heard before. The first homework coming out of this group, and what I hope to open the discussion with tonight and what we'll continue to build on, is what's your personal vision for this business? And, Don was telling his story earlier, and I was kind of chuckling here aside, remembering at Don's beginning and how he started and how he built a really strong team and organization really quickly. And Don and I, from the beginning, have had this conversation that, hey, your business doesn't have to look like anybody else's. Because Don would always come to me and go, I don't know, my business doesn't look like everybody else's. I'm not doing success growth points. I'm not going to be, I'm not getting elite points. Is this okay? How is this going? And we would always sit back and say, well, what's your business plan? Where do you want to be with a business? Because none of those things might have any bearing. Sometimes they do, but they don't always. And they're not there to be business markers, actually. They're there to be incentives to drive people who don't really understand how to do the business to at least do the basic stuff. But if you're really here to build a business, you want to know what's really behind running this business and then line that up with your vision, your passion, because I don't want you doing challenge groups if you hate them. I want you doing what you love. Don did not just build his business doing challenge groups, neither have I. But a lot of coaches have. And so I'm not saying do them or don't do them. I'm saying you got to really ask yourself, and this is going to be after this call, hopefully you'll do some real self-reflecting, and hopefully we can start some of that tonight maybe in the discussion of what do you want it to look like? And ask the questions. Is it okay if it looks like X, Y, and Z? How do I make ABC actually generate volume and help me rank advance? Because I'm going to tell you right now, those are the only two things that matter. Are we generating volume in the appropriate way and the appropriate legs? And are you holding the rank that you need to hit the dollar amount you're trying to get to? We'll fill in the blanks with the retail stuff, but team cycle bonus is always your guide. It's always your guide point because that's what can be predictable. And then we fill in, and everybody's looks different as to how you get there. Are you running fit clubs? Are you a master trainer and you're going to be building through, several classes a week and building through live community? I'm kind of an old school network marketer, which is kind of funny because it's not my background. But when I learned, it was person to person. There wasn't social media. I learned how to prospect while I'm out in the world, just being out in the world, looking for people who want help, and I'm ready to help. And I'm always trying to figure out what kind of Beachbody thing might help them. And that's when I do best. So that's where I put myself. Whenever I travel, I do the most recruiting when I travel. And it's because of that. I love to just be out, be in the airports, be in the bus stations, be out in the world. We were on a camping trip last week, and 10 days out in the middle of South Dakota, no running water, no electricity. I had a tub of Recover with me. I had a tub of Hydrate with me, a tub of Energize, and every single person, and we were in contact with many people on that trip, left that trip with the knowledge of how amazing those products were when you're out in the hot sun, hiking or splitting wood or working hard. It had nothing to do with fitness. We didn't even do a workout the whole time. But again, how do you share out of the box when you're just out in life? That's me. There's other coaches out there who fit clubs. Fit clubs is a good example, but challenge groups online. Some people are building social media 100%. Other people are doing retail because they are already in a situation where they're interacting with large groups of people. What we want to help you do is find your niche, and then explore how we optimize building from that niche. And that's why this is going to kind of be a group effort. As Don said, we're going to open up each week with a teaching. And basically what the teaching is going to be is kind of a underlying understanding. How do we optimize the comp plan? What are some placement issues you should think about? Where do you put your retail sales if you have a spouse account and maybe even a second business center? Those kinds of things. We'll give those kinds of things as we go along because we want you to understand those. And again, those are the kinds of things that don't get talked about very often, but can be the real difference maker or game changer when it comes to whether or not you actually do optimize your potential under the comp plan. And as we do all of that, though, our goal is going to be that we're also working on your businesses. By the end of 60 to 90 days together in a group like this, every single one of you should be up and running clearly on movement and momentum towards your goal with a good, clear path that makes sense, that's measurable, that you've got a set of metrics lined up that on a week-by-week basis, where your business is going and whether or not it's going in the right direction and whether the volume's coming in the right places, and how to make sure those things are happening. So it starts with that vision statement and business statement. And, we can kind of open it up. I don't know where we are for time, but if we have a few minutes, if a few people want to share tonight on that level, or if you have questions about any of the stuff that we just shared or the direction of the group, we'll open it up. But also, and if you're hearing this on the recording, I'm inviting everybody, and I'm going to really underline and accentuate what Don ended with. Please, please, please use that page. Write out. Do a live video. Tell us what your vision is. Tell us what your business goal is. Get active in there. This business is all about sharing and networking and community building. That's a safe, easy place to do it. And it's all the same activities that we're going to be asking you to do with strangers. So that's an opportunity to do it. But more importantly, that's the stuff that grounds your business and allows your business to grow. I've now seen my organization grow to over 30,000 people, and I've seen all kinds of levels of success. And I can guarantee you one thing, every single one that I've seen have good success have been the people who have been the ones who participate and get active on the page and put themselves out there and do the videos and do the homework. And even when it's silly and feels goofy, those are the things that drive you forward. So I really do encourage that participation. We'll try to end each week with something specific that we ask you to do. And this week, it's putting together and really formulating your vision for how do you see yourself doing this business and your highest expression of it, not where it doesn't feel like work. And Don told you mine. I love sharing with people. I love teaching this business. It's funny that we didn't even talk beforehand. It's funny that Don picked that because I'll end with this. In the very beginning, I had the opportunity to work with a fantastic mentor who built a huge network marketing business in another company. And this was one of the first things he asked me to do. What's your niche? What do you really love? What do you see yourself really skyrocketing with in this business? I love, because of my legal background as an attorney, maybe, I love digging into the comp plan, figuring it out, and then teaching it. And that's what I've done. I'm not a great recruiter. I don't run challenge groups. I got a little fitness group. You're all welcome to come into it. And then that's all it is. But what I do is what we're doing here in this group and duplicate the process of building a successful business. That's what it looks like for me. That's what I love doing. I defined it in the beginning and I got busy doing it, even when I had a teeny little group and it started with just me and Keith Callahan, and there were maybe 3 or 4 of us in the business. We dove in, we figured out the comp plan. We got busy on putting together a vision statement and a business statement, the pathway to get there, doing it, and then repeating. And that's what builds this business. And that's why we're here in this group, because these groups over and over and over again over the last 10 years are the way that that my organization has grown to over 30,000 people. It's not because I'm any kind of top recruiter. Look at the list. I'm not a top recruiter at all. In 10 years of doing this business, I think that this year, at the beginning of the year, after 10 years of doing this business, I had something like 35 personally sponsored coaches. But hey, that's enough to hold my 7-star rank. And most of those coaches are coaches who have been with me for almost this whole time. So it's a core organizational development that we've built from, which kind of looks a little bit different from some. And it's not to compare better or worse. It's just different. And the message here tonight is it's okay if yours looks different. We want yours to look like yours and then to excel in that form. So with that, Don, I'll hand it back to you. I'm on the phone, so I can't see who we've got or what's going on. But if anybody wants to jump in with discussion, I'd love to share for a few more.
Love it, Bob. Thanks. That's just, very insightful, helpful info, and just gives a broad overview of what this is going to be about, guys. So, we can open it up to Q's. The only thing else that I'm going to add is this is network marketing and this whole thing of, multi-level marketing. Look, it's 2018, and I think half the companies out there now are network marketing companies. Like, just get over the fact that this is multi-level marketing and that icky feeling of, I'm in a multi-level marketing company. It's like, this is widespread accepted now. And the person who says, is that one of those pyramid things? We'll address that in another call at a later time. But I am one of these people that would much rather buy something from somebody I trust than an unknown source. And that's what I love about network marketing. As a matter of fact, today there's a guy in the gym. He's selling his product. He's been telling me about it. I forget what it's called, but he was telling me about this cream that he rubs on, and it's supposed to do this stuff for guys. And I was like fascinated. And he's told me about it a few times now. And I know the guy, and he's built this rapport with me. He's, I like the guy, and he's a member of the gym. And I'm like, you know what, dude, I've seen and heard enough. I'm buying it. So I'm buying this product from him. It's a network marketing company. No, I'm not going to sign up for it. And I told him that straight out. I can't and I won't. But I will try that product because I am impressed with what you're showing me. That's what you're doing. You're just sharing something that you're excited about, that you use yourself and you've gotten results from. That's all you're doing is sharing. So over to you, and anybody that wants to share or ask a question. If nobody does, I do have a tough question I want somebody to answer, but go ahead. Over to you guys.
I've got something to say. Don, I completely agree with everything you just said, because look at all the stores that are closing. Look at all the big stores. Why do you think those stores are closing, you guys? Online shopping.
Amazon is taking over the world.
Right. And so we are in the right business. And if you think this is like sleazy, or if you think I can't talk to anybody about Shakeology, I can't talk to anybody about Recover or Recharge, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Because they're going to buy health and fitness products somewhere. Why not talk to you about it and the stuff that you use, why you use it, what are the benefits that you get from it, what is it going to do for them? They're going to buy that from you. Yeah. And it's not like you're selling it to them because you want to sell something. So if you talk to them and you have that in your head, like, okay, I got to sell this challenge pack. Oh, I got to sell, because that's how it's going to come across to them. But if you're talking to them, like Don has these wonderful questions that I've used for 6 years. I've used Don's questions for freaking 6 years, right? And they're so successful because you dig in. I had someone in tears. I was training one of my coaches with questions. because she was a brand new coach and she didn't know how to approach people and talk to them. So I used some of Dawn's questions and I started asking her a little question, waiting for an answer, a little question, waiting for an answer. She got so emotional, and now she's one of my really good coaches.
That's awesome.
Because she understood. Yeah. And so please remember, all of these stores are closing. I mean, Macy's are closing. Kmart's are all closed. You know, everything's closing.
I'm building our new Gold's Gym in what was formerly Sears.
There you go. Yes. Yes.
Crazy.
So,
like, I used to go
online
to
shopping. That's where it's at, guys. And that's what I had to say. Okay, I'm going to shut up, man.
Awesome, Shannon. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you. Does anybody else have a question? Lisa, what's up?
Well, so maybe if not tonight, you can remind us, Don, of what your questions are that you ask people.
Say it again. Say it again.
If not tonight, can you hear me?
Yeah, it's a little faint. Can you get the microphone closer?
Can you hear me now?
There you go. Yeah.
Okay. I think my earbuds are dying. Anyway, if you don't share it tonight, we could have a training and you can share with us your questions again, right, Don?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
That would be really helpful.
Yeah, the magic of sharing health and fitness with others. Yeah, the questions to ask. Yeah.
And Lisa, those are in our files on the Team Synergy page.
Oh, okay, good.
Don's document. Okay, just saying.
But
Is it called Don's document?
For sure, we're going to get into the basics of how do I talk to people? How do I get them to trust me and say, yeah, I'll do it. Yeah.
I think even if we had a training on it and you did a little kind of a skit, like how to respond to people's answers. I think because I remember asking, I know the questions you ask people help them more get focused on what they really need. But even, sometimes I don't know how to answer their ansers.
Yeah. No, I get it. I
know that just takes practice. It just takes doing it with a lot of people, and you learn how to do it.
Exactly.
But I think when Bob asked about like your goal, your vision, I just feel like I need another way to build outside of social media, because I just talk to and meet a lot of people that just are not on Facebook, not on social media. They have an account, but they don't go on there ever. They don't do the challenge tracker app. They're just not app people. I
hear you.
So I think just so I'm looking at, possibilities for that. But
do they do email?
Yeah, they do email. So
that's how I connect with people like that. Email.
Right. So that for me, that's what I'm like over the course of the fall and the winter is I'm going to be working on that more, is reaching out to people and looking for more opportunities to connect with them. I
got some good suggestions
calls,
for that. Yeah.
Live in a meeting.
I'm going to tell you something.
Sending them a card, like just more.
Back to basics. It's back to basics. It's back to almost old school. There's a lot of people that are unplugging from the grid, as I call it. It's just gotten overwhelming. I think people are getting burnt out. Mm-hmm. I'm one of them. Like I use it. I have to for business purposes, but for me, it's more about personal connection. It's just I get fried on my phone. It's just so much, and so the thing that I am finding is very useful is text groups with the freaking GIFs that are comical and they're fun and lighthearted. It's like, God, and it's instant. You're not dealing with the internet and social media. It's just a little text exchange with a little group of people. So, but yeah, we'll get into that, Lisa, for sure. I understand what you're saying. Yep. Christine, Jim, great to see you, man. I'm glad you guys are here. Yeah, for sure.
We kind of wanted to thank you for allowing us in your Team Euphoria page, and because this is what we're looking for. We kind of got burned out of feeling when you said salesy. Yes, I'm a nurse, so that salesy piece doesn't go well with me, and I went, but just got a tuition bill for my son's college, so there I am.
Jump in again. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right, now I have, and his son is right behind us, so we have, reason, but also I do better when I get on the phone with somebody and I talk to them about Shakeology and I can actually speak to them. I'm behind a computer I feel salesy, and then I back up. At one point, I quit and switched legs to get on his weak leg. We're running it as a spousal account. That's when I did the best because I didn't have anything. I wasn't a coach.
Yes.
That's when I actually, and I have to get back to that. We fell off. We're back. We know the value of this business. So we thank you, and we're looking forward to, we definitely.
I'm glad you guys are here. I really am. It's great.
This is definitely our speed.
Yeah.
From our direct upline, no offense to anybody, but it's just a different kind of vision. And this vision with what you're doing, everything that you said that you even went through, we've personally experienced, and with Bob's tutelage and your like analytical view of how coaching should be set up, and just those interpersonal relationships that you build with people. This is going to be our team, and
awesome.
Like I have freaking goosebumps.
That's great.
It brings the fire back. It truly does.
It really does. So
I'm psyched to hear it. That's great. Really, thanks a lot.
But a quick question, it may be ahead of everything, but with our spousal account that we have, at this point, I think he's Emerald and I think we're both Emeralds. Is it better to build him first and then work on my account? Is there, a good or bad or?
Bob, he left. Bob, you there? Oh, you are there. Yeah, how would you answer that? Because I know it could be looked at a couple different ways. I was going to answer it one way, but what would you say?
Well, tell me how you're set up. So his account is the top account. It's like
Yes.
we're both Emeralds.
And I'm on his
I'm
on his weak leg, right?
Yeah. So my opinion on that always is you first build both sites to Emerald where you're at, because we want them both to be able to get team cycle bonus. And then you go back to the top site and together work to build that top site, because we want to maximize the household income. Sometimes I see spouses or partners come in and they kind of compete against each other or build separately, and I just don't think that makes business sense when you have two sites together that can work together. So build the top site to diamond, and then go back down to the second site, build that one to diamond, and then you're looking for one business partner that we want to place on the other leg. And we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but that's really the golden rule. And what you're going to hear from me over and over and over and over again, the road to success here is build a diamond, build a spouse to diamond, really put your attention on just holding those two spaces, get one business partner, and you're on the road not only to six figures, but a very healthy six-figure income just right there in terms of rank. Now we got to build in volume, and we have to, build it out. But in terms of the shell of the opportunity, that's what it takes. So you guys are right on the road, and that's the way I would advise you to move forward. Does that make sense?
Yep. Totally.
Absolutely. Thanks, Bob.
Ditto. What he said. I have nothing to add. Yeah, that's it. So the only other thing I was going to suggest or ask, and Bob, you could chime in here too, is like, utilizing the page and really getting personal in terms of our goals. To say, does somebody want to kick this off by going on the page saying, oh yeah, great call. My goal in this business is to earn $1,000 a month, and I can commit 1 hour a day to working my business. So my vision is to get my business to a sustainable $1,000 a month. I can put an hour a day. How do I go about doing it? What's my strategy for building?
Right, perfect. And I would add one more line, and that is that I see myself building this business blank through social media, person to person, running live classes.
Through shake and share.
One more filter, through shake and shares, through home parties.
What do I enjoy?
Going on the circuit, whatever. Just a one-liner. You don't have to be any more detailed than that. We'll help you fill in the blanks on what that kind of a vision might look like. But get yourself that far, and you're on your way.
So what I'll do is I will put a comment on the team page that assigns this task of, okay, guys, for those who were on the call last night, I'll probably put it up tomorrow. Calls last night, please answer the following. Boom, boom, boom. And then just comment in the thread, and let's get this thread going to see what kind of input we're getting. And then when we come back on the call again in 2 weeks, we can start to hone in on some of the business building strategies to achieve some of those numbers and what people are asking.
Yes, perfect.
All right.
Hey guys, I gotta go, but I'll catch the tail end on the recording.
I think we're good to go too. Is anybody else? Lisa, thanks so much. Take care.
Okay.
Is everybody good? Jessica, Lori, you guys are good? Jessica, did you get dressed? I hope you're dressed.
I'm dressed, but I just had one question.
Yeah.
What if you're not really sure about what your 100% niche is? Like, I know I want to build it, but I teach a lot of group fitness classes, and I've realized how great I've become at it and how much I love that.
I know, I've seen you.
So I'm not sure if in like a live manner I want to really build this, or if it's through social media, or I do run challenge groups, but I'll be honest, I haven't been inviting new people.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have a challenge group that runs regularly each month with people that I've had, regular people that always consistently come back. But I don't know what my 100% niche is.
Ooh, Jessica, I have so many ideas for you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, one of the things you could start with is, what do you enjoy the most?
Yeah.
Right.
Classes.
What do you
That's what
enjoy the most?
Like, I love the live aspect of classes, like face-to-face.
You need to be doing
your top three
clubs. But anyway, go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I was going to say, give your top three interests. And this is a great question because, and I'm sure a lot of people are in the same place. It's not easy to just go, boom, here's my niche.
Right.
You're going to try out a few is what's going to happen. So yeah, definitely hone in on, and like what Don said, what are the three things you like doing the most about coaching, or that interest you the most that you see other coaches doing? Because one of the things we're going to do each week is kind of float out some ideas in each of these different areas. And sometimes people start and they go, oh, I wanted to do it this way. Then they hear some other ideas and they try something else out and they find out that their niche is actually something different.
Right.
So we're going to try things out a little. So, no worries. You're right in the right place.
Okay.
Start by just talking about what are the three things that are most exciting, most interesting, most appealing to you. And we'll keep growing as a group.
Yes.
Awesome.
So for me, I was out there for a minute because right now I'm in my car. My son's motorcycle battery died, so I had to get in the car. Now I'm waiting for him to get jumper cables. Anyway, so I'm just starting with all this stuff, and Jessica's my buddy.
Awesome, Lori.
And so I'm a widow. My husband died 7 years ago. I'm a retired educator, so I'm kind of looking into that niche, whether it's the retired group or it's the over 60 group, because I'm 61.
Love it.
And going from there, but I've just started to post on Instagram. I still don't have that down, but I'm trying to post every day and go from there. So I'm still looking to find my niche as well.
Awesome, Lori. You're just starting out. So welcome to the group. And quick question: did you have a chance to get into Coach Basics at all in your back office? Some of the coach training in your back office.
I'm starting to go through it. Yeah.
Okay.
But not thoroughly.
Okay. So
I have a challenge group going now. Jessica's in it, and I have another person.
Awesome.
One of my friends bought the 2B Mindset, so we're kind of running Lift 4 and 2B Mindset together.
Awesome.
I'm using the programs guides for part of my challenge group, so I know what to post every day.
Right.
Kind of stuff.
Awesome. So if you continue to just dive in bit by bit into that Coach Basics training and the coach training in the back office, just don't overwhelm yourself. Just learn it in bits and pieces and take in what's being taught, but don't feel like, oh my God, I got to go do all this stuff. No, you don't have to do all this stuff. You'll do the stuff that comes most naturally to you and that you're most comfortable with. And through these mastermind meetings, we'll give you some real tangible tools that you can use to build the way it's most comfortable for you.
That sounds good.
Cool. All right, guys. We good?
Good.
Awesome.
Good.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. We'll be in touch 2 weeks from today. We'll see you then.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.